And so this is our homepage. Hopefully you've been here before. I would assume you've had to be able to join this meeting. But this is going to go away this afternoon because that's the meeting we're in now. There's some quick links to get to the modules, but I would suggest getting to the modules right here. And the modules is where all of the course information that you need to do your homework and that kind of thing are going to be located. Grades, obvious location. Tutor.com is a place where you can get free help, free homework help, that kind of thing. So you might check that out. I've heard varying results, but it is free. The college does pay into that program. So you have that. And then the last link there, Proctor U, that is going to be there only if it applies to you. That's going to have to do with the midterm and the final exam. And there's a possibility that you will never actually use it. But that is something I'm working on right now and trying to get, for those that might need it, getting the Proctor U set up. But we'll get into that later. So the first link here is the Ivy Plus bookshelf, and that's where you will find, that's one of the many places you can actually find the textbook and get your actual account set up. Let's go to announcements. Announcements is where I'm going to post a few things. I'm hoping it has to do with your individual settings, but when I post an announcement, it should send you an email or a message that I have posted the announcement, and then it should display the announcement without the images. So please keep an eye out for that. That would be one of the ways I can get a hold of, or like actually send you information. So that's announcements. Let's look at the syllabus. So the syllabus here is going to be mostly it's the college's syllabus. I just put a few things that pertain to our specific class. This class, this college algebra course is a statewide course, so it's not at your local Ivy Tech. I'm located in Bloomington. I'm sure a few of you are maybe also in Bloomington, but I would assume most of you are not. So this is a statewide course. So this is a statewide syllabus. Here's my information. My name is Ryan Pennell. That is my phone number, email, and then my location is the Bloomington campus. And I'm going to have office hours. I have started this since COVID hit. I do office hours at Sunday night from 8 to 9 p.m. That may not work perfectly with you, but I have found since COVID, since the lockdown, when I needed a solution, that was the time that more students could meet than not, because most people didn't have an obligation at Sunday night. So I've kept that, and that seems to have worked. So that's when the office hours will be for this class and for all of my other classes. So you may see students in the office hours ask questions that don't pertain to our class. But that is a really good time to come, ask, get help, homework help. If you're stuck on problem 12 of, the first homework or whatever, whatever question is, you can come there, we can look at it, we can go over it, and I can get you some help. So office hours are always good. That'll be over Zoom, just like this is. And the Zoom link will be posted in Zoom here. And also I will send out a reminder. Usually I do that on Saturdays or Sunday morning. I will send out a reminder and a link to that Zoom. I'm going to skip down to what I think will be of interest to you. Now, I will say the prerequisite for this class is intermediate algebra, but I would also make the assumption that most of you probably tested into this class. I don't know, but I would assume that some are coming from high school and some are just tested into the course, but the prerequisite is that you do understand intermediate algebra, at least at the C level. So if you do not, please let me know. One thing it's not unique to our class, but is very strange to me, is that all of our homework will be due on Tuesday nights because the college has switched to the starting date is on Wednesday. So the start of our week is Wednesday and not Monday. The due dates will be on Tuesday nights. If there's enough need for it, I will also have an office hour on Tuesday nights. That is something that I did earlier this semester, not with you guys because we're starting a new class, but with my previous group. I was doing Sunday and Tuesday once the class started going, once people had more questions. I was doing 2 office hours, one on Sunday night and one Tuesday. And that was a lot to do with they had a lot of projects due. I don't know if we'll need it. If it comes to pass where we need that, it will be evident. And I might have one on Tuesday night as well. But all of our homework is due Tuesday nights. So be sure that that is on your mind. That might mean that you still have to get everything done on Sundays the best you can, and then finish whatever you can Monday, pertaining to whatever your life and work schedule is. But Ivy Tech decided to make the beginning of the week Wednesday, so that means the homework will be due on Tuesdays. Late assignments will be automatically graded as a 0, or I should say, you will lose access to the homework at the due date. So if you needed to get, homework 3 done and it passed, that means you're going to be locked out of that homework. You're not going to be able to access it, and then you won't be able to raise your grade on that homework. If something is going on, if there's sickness, a death, whatever may be going on in your life that is preventing you from doing your work, it would be better to reach out and ask for an extension than to just let the zeros accrue. So please, if something's going on, and I'm sure something will with somebody, right? With this many people, something's going to happen to somebody. But let me know what's going on, and we'll see what we can do to get you caught up. But yeah, it'll be zeros set to automatic. Here is your refund date. I hope no one needs a refund. I hope this is the only time that you take college algebra. I hope everyone gets an A, and no one needs to get a refund and no one needs to withdraw. That would be my goal. I should have said earlier, all of these times that I'm referencing are all set to the Eastern Time, EST. If you are not in Indiana, if you're in Central Time, Mountain Time, Pacific Time, please, you will have to be the one to keep track of that. I cannot do that. I cannot memorize everyone's local time zone and then adjust it. So if you are in Central Time Zone, please, you will have to be the one to keep track of that. So if things are due 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you will need to convert that to whatever your local time is. I would assume that the majority are in Indiana, since this is an Indiana college, but you are the one in track of that. I cannot do that for you. I'm sorry. Are you required to come to campus for this course? Absolutely not. You are never required to come to any Ivy Tech campus to fulfill this class. They will, in this syllabus, they'll put a bunch of qualifiers there. If you lose internet access or something like that, it's not, it's unfortunate, but it's not the college's or my personal responsibility to make sure that you have your own internet. So if you need to go to somewhere to get internet, if something goes on, that will be your own responsibility. But you will not be required to go to campus. And that being said, Ivy Tech wants the online classes like ours, they want them to have proctored exam, which means that someone is monitoring you while you take the exam. We're only going to have 2 exams for this class. We're going to have a midterm and a final. So that means that we need to have a proctored. Now, my preference would be to have just do it through software, but we are not able to do that with the Pearson My Math Lab that we have. So I'm currently working on some solutions of what we can do with the proctored exam, and I'm going to send out probably an announcement either tomorrow or hopefully by the end of Friday. I will have everything ready. I'm already worried about the midterm exam. So my goal for the proctored exam, for you, your experience is that it's easy to understand what you're supposed to do. It's a free solution, and it will not affect your experience of taking the exam. There will be 3 solutions that will closely fit those. The first solution is that I'm probably going to offer 4 test taking times over Zoom, where a group of us will get together. You can take your exam, and I will just record the meeting, and you'll have your webcam on. That will be one of the ways that I can offer that. The other way is to sign up for your proctored exam through Ivy Tech, through the testing center. This solution in the past has not been great. The testing center was completely overwhelmed. Over this summer was the last time I taught a class that required this. And they were completely overwhelmed, and it was not a good experience for students. And then the third option will be if you can't make any of those times, and Ivy Tech testing center cannot provide you with a proctored time for you. We will also have the ProctorU solution. And the thing I don't like about ProctorU is that it costs money. It's usually about $20 for the proctoring service on your end. So you'd have to pay $20 to take a test. And I don't think most students want to pay $20 to take an exam. So I'm trying to find other solutions for that. Online communication, please do not hesitate to email me at any time. You will not bother me. I will respond to you as quick as possible. So you can either email me or you can use the inbox feature and message me. I prefer if you do it that way. If you use the inbox feature and then I can't click it because then it'll show the messages that I have. But if you could write me through that, that would be best, because then it tells me what class you're in. But never hesitate to get a hold of me. Notifications, this tells you how to turn notifications on when I send out announcements. 14 homework assignments for the course. Module quizzes, there will be 12 quizzes. 2 review quizzes. Preparation tests, that's a good thing. We'll have some test review before we take exams. The exams are through My Math Lab, just like your homework will be, but we're going to get into that in a moment. This is the grades. This is how your grade will be calculated. The discussion boards will be worth 5% of your grade. Homework is 15. The quizzes are 15. The review exams are worth 5. And the sum of the two exams are 60%, which is 100%. Grading scale is the normal Ivy Tech grading scale. And at the bottom, you'll just see some due dates. So the next thing to do would be to go to the modules. And we see module 1. I wish they just called it week 1, but they call it module 1. And in module 1, there's lots of information, almost too much information. But here's your homework, here's your quiz, here's your first discussion board. You will have what you're going to learn is in the review there, overview. Here is where you're going to find the lecture videos. So Ivy Tech provides these lecture videos. Feel free to go on YouTube and find other, this is the minimum. You can always find more information if you want to go on YouTube and find solving quadratic equations by completing the square. There's millions of videos on YouTube, but these are the ones posted for the class. So those are all there listed for you. These are the assignments that you will need to do for part A. And then here's the actual homework. So here's homework 1A. This is the first homework that's due. Let's click it. And this is how it opens up for me. Oh. I'm still in student mode. I'm gonna have to exit student mode. When I'm in student mode, it thinks I'm a different user. So here's how the homework will open. And then this part here is just the textbook section. Well, actually, you might not be able to see that because it's a pop-out. I might have to share my screen a little differently. Desktop. Okay. Yeah, you might not have saw that because it's a pop-out. Hopefully you can see this loading. So here is the textbook and about quadratic equations. I would probably watch some videos. I mean, it depends on what kind of learner you are, and you will have to decide that for yourself. But I would use the textbook more as a reference than a primary source. I would probably watch some videos, see if it makes sense, and then just try the homework. Realistically, that's what I would do. If I got super stuck, then I would probably look at the textbook. But it just depends on what kind of learner you are. So that's where the textbook is, and that's a good reference. Here's what the actual questions look like. So this is a question here. We're asked to factor this quadratic equation, rewrite completely factored form. So here we're just expected to factor this. So that is what the questions look like. So let me go back.
How are you answering it on here?
I'll say it again.
How do you answer it on there?
Oh, let me go back. So this one is already answered, but this one is not. So this one is asking, solve the following equation by factoring. We have z squared plus 2z equals, or minus 15 equals 0. So we're asked to factor this. You can click view example if you want help with how to factor this. So this gives you step-by-step instruction of how to answer the question, but I'm probably going to do it a little bit different than the computer. So how do we factor a quadratic equation? Well, with this, of course, you're going to learn about this through watching the videos, but there is a leading coefficient of 1. And so if we can, we want to break up the C part, this negative 15, into two values that would add to the number 2 here. So what are the factors of negative 15, which would add to 2? 3 and 5 seem like they would work. I need them to add to 2 and multiply to negative 15. So positive 5, negative 3 seems like it would work. So I will enter that in. So that would be z minus, nope, plus 5, z minus 3. Again, those numbers add to positive 2 and multiply to negative 15. So I think this would work. I'll hit click check answer, and it says good job. So that is what you were supposed to do for that problem. But if you're stuck, you can look at the example. That's probably what you will end up doing for each problem, as learning from this. This is generally what students do. But this is a step-by-step guide for each problem. It will have that. I'll have a way. So what is the solution set for this? That is, what does z equal? What are the solutions for z? Well, if z equaled negative 5 and z equaled positive 3, this is the solution set. So negative 5, comma 3 must be the solution set. Excellent. There it is. So that's how you do the first question. Yeah, so that's how you answer a question.
Thank you.
Yep. Let's go back to modules. Oh, and I'm not in student view now, so I want to do that. So homework 1A, that's what we just looked at. You're going to have a quiz over homework 1A, discussion board, introducing yourself. Then, because this is an 8-week course, you have 2 sections. So you have 1B here, homework 1B, quiz 1B, discussion 1B. And then this is the live meeting that we're in right now. I will post this meeting later today. And that is module 1. That is what you need to focus on. That's what you need to get done this week by Tuesday. That's what is crucial. So you have to get that done by Tuesday at midnight. I will have office hours on Sunday night from 8 to 9. I know that doesn't work for everybody. If it doesn't work for you, please reach out, ask questions when you can. Yeah. And then that, yeah. So that's
I
what
have
you
a
need.
question.
Go ahead.
Are the due dates going to change in Canvas? Because when I was uploading everything to my calendar, everything is set to be due on December 20th.
Okay. I wonder why it's December 20th. Let me see. So
I believe there was one section of, I think it was module 1A and 1B that were showing due by next Tuesday, but everything else was like the last day of the semester.
okay. Well, yeah, those due dates will change. You will have module 2 will be due on the 2nd. I'm not sure why it's displaying. I guess maybe because I haven't assigned due dates to the future homework. And so maybe it's just displaying that it was due at the end. That might be why it's doing it. It's doing something by default, but I haven't
Okay,
assigned,
yeah, that makes sense.
I haven't assigned module 2 yet. So, but that will be due the 2nd. So right now I'm just trying to get everyone. Yeah, I'm sorry that it's showing that by error. But right now I'm just trying to get everyone to get module 1 going. That's my goal today, is to do that. And that will be due the 26th, 11:59, Tuesday. Okay. Good questions.
Will you also show us for the module 1? I see that they have like 1.5 or whatever. They have like the chapter numbers. Will you also show us where those line up with the textbook?
Uh-huh. Let's go to the homework. Oh, I'm in student view. So here, when I'm in the homework, it has the textbook sections, or it has this textbook section right here. And so that is section 1.2 right there. That's one way to get to it. One way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that seems like that would be a pretty convenient way because it's right next to your homework. You should also be able to go to Ivy Plus. Oh wait, did I share my screen correctly? I think so. So you should be able to go to Ivy Plus as a student and view the textbook. But I'm not 100% sure what that looks like from your point of view, but you should be able to go to Ivy Plus bookshelf and then read now. It'll take a second to load. And this is if you only want to look at the textbook. 1.1 is just getting you there, and then 1.2 quadratic equations, 1.3 complex numbers, and so on. So that'd be another way to get to the textbook. And you should be
Thank
able
you.
to see, yeah, you should be able to see that from your point of view, I hope. Okay, let me check my notes and see if I went over everything. Syllabus, grading scale, deadlines are on Tuesdays, 11:59. Office hours are Sunday on Zoom. And I am still working on what to do with the midterm.
Are you familiar with Respondus lockdown browser?
I am familiar with it. The problem is it's not working with Pearson. And that is my preferred method. I like Respondus because it just records your screen, and no one actually has to watch you, but it doesn't work with our Pearson system.
Okay.
And yeah, so that I wish we could do that.
Yeah, that was the method that Brooke Sharp used in my intermediate algebra course.
Yeah, that's
So,
the way I do it, unless it's with Pearson, and then we have to go other route. But yeah, if we're not using Pearson, that's how we do it. Good question, though. I wish we could. I wish we could. Okay.
Can you also show us once you go into my lab? Because it's a little bit confusing, but I also had a question. Is it easier to just access your homework due through the modules, or is it probably better to go through my lab and do it that way? Because it's a little confusing through my lab.
Oh, yeah, just go ahead and go through. It should be linked through modules.
Okay. Yeah. The
it-
other link, the Ivy bookshelf, oh my gosh, when I went in there, it's like so much. It's overwhelming.
Yeah, so I would suggest just focusing on module 1 this week.
Okay.
So here are your learning assignments. Here is the first homework, and you will click this link, and it will embed the homework on the web page for you. Oh, and I'm still in student view, so it doesn't recognize me. And there it should lie for you.
A lot easier. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Back to this midterm issue. So I'm going to offer 4 or 5 different times to proctor the exam myself. There's 27 students, so I can't offer 27 proctor sessions. But if you go to this Google form, you can click this, and then it will ask you what would be your preferred time. If you can do these times at all. I have a Friday, 10 a.m., Sunday, 8 p.m., Monday, 10 a.m., Tuesday, 10 a.m., or write in other if none of those work. So that's first option. Section option is Proctor U. Proctor U is really good, except it costs money. That's the downside with Proctor U. And then the third option is Ivy Tech proctoring service, which is 100% free and provided by the college. And I urge you to go to Ivy Tech schedule now and try to get an appointment for this. They already have the proctor form. They already have the dates, so it should be ready to go. But I've just had nothing but negative experiences using them, so that's why I'm nervous about it. But those will be more information coming soon. This I'm still thinking about this, so this will come out later today. This announcement, it's not released yet because I wanted to read over it one more time, but that Google form will be there. Proctor U will be offered, and then if you can, go ahead and schedule your midterm this week. But I've had bad experiences with them before, so trying to find a better solution. And I wish we could use Respondus lockdown browser, but we can't because we use Pearson for this class. So it doesn't work. Okay. Any other questions? Will the Sunday night office hours work for most people?
Yes.
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 Okay. Those are totally optional, by the way. You're not expected to come to those. You're not, there's no attendance. Oh, speaking of attendance, if you could, it looks like one person already did. If you could just write hello, hi, anything in the chat box, and that there's a log that's taken with the chat box, and that way I can mark that you came to this meeting. So if you can, just write hi, your name, just anything, and it will record. The chat's being recorded so I can see who attended. So that would be helpful if you could just write anything in the chat box. So the goal right now is to get module 1 done. Okay. So go ahead and get that started, get module 1, watch the videos, flip through the textbook, start the homework, look at those examples in the homework. Those, for the most part, are a step-by-step guide of how to do the problem. That's the good thing about Pearson, is Pearson has a wonderful homework system. So that is a benefit to having there, and their textbooks are pretty good too. So that's one of the great things about using Pearson, which was covered by your tuition, that we use the Pearson system. So go ahead and get that started, get the discussions done. Please be sure to respond to others. That's one of the core things of grading those. Don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions.
Will you have a study guide for us for the midterm?
Yes, and there will be a practice exam, study guide, announcements of what to study for, all that. I will definitely, I'll, I'm not going to be one of those professors that just disappears. So I will probably bug you guys an annoying amount with information, but I'll try to not do too much. But I'll mostly treat this just like you're any one of my other classes, except we just don't have a required lecture. So, you know, as we get closer to things, I'll make announcements. Generally, if people are, you know, stuck on a particular problem, sometimes I will write out a solution to the person that asked it and then send it to everyone if there's like a common question. Sometimes there's confusion about one thing or another, so I might make a video and send it. So you will definitely hear from me as the course goes on. You know, so don't feel like you're taking this class by yourself. It's just that we don't have a required lecture portion to it. What else can I say? Oh, get a good calculator. Get a good calculator that you are comfortable with using. Scientific calculator, graphing calculator. I've got, oh, you can't really see it. It's like blurred out. I've got a graphing, I've got a bunch of calculators, but I can't loan it to you because I don't see you guys in person. So get a calculator that you're comfortable with using, that you like, because you'll be able to use that on your tests. You'll be able to use your favorite calculator on a test, but you won't be able to use your cell phone. So that will be something to keep in mind. And for my midterms and finals, I allow paper notes and the textbook while you take the exam. Paper notes will probably be more beneficial than the textbook, but I'll allow that during the test for you to use, so you can use your paper notes. So it will always benefit you to take as much notes as possible while you do your homework, because you will be able to reference those during the exam.
How does that work with it being over Zoom potentially? Because of the whole point of it being proctored over Zoom is so that we're not cheating, right? So if we're looking at our paper notes or at the book, where's the line?
Where's the line? I'm okay with paper notes. I don't, you know, I don't think paper notes are cheating. What's cheating is having someone else's information.
What I mean by that is, with the whole point of doing the Zoom is so that you can see what we're looking at as we're doing the exams, right? So if you're seeing us constantly looking down, what's to say we're not looking at our phone or another resource other than just paper notes?
It's usually pretty obvious if someone, I mean, that's why somebody watches you. That was weird. Yeah, I'm okay with paper notes. I'm not okay with cell phones. It's usually pretty obvious if someone's looking at their phone. And the proctoring thing is a lot of just making sure that it's you taking the exam, right? Because
Okay, that makes sense.
you could easily
Have
pay
somebody
someone-
substitute for you and take it for you so you don't have to do it. Yep, I get what you're saying.
Be pretty easy.
Thank you.
And since times are tough, it probably wouldn't cost very much.
And I
Um,
see on there, there's a section where it says upload your notes. Are we going to be uploading our notes that we use for the midterm and the final?
Scratch your scratch paper. So you're gonna have your exam will look just like your homework, except it's timed. You will, you're gonna do the problems. You're gonna write stuff on paper. Then you're gonna upload an image to our site, and then I will be able to give you partial credit from that scratch work, because I go, oh well, it looks like they messed up here, but they, so I can give you some partial credit when you upload those notes.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
Yeah, but like if it's multiple choice, then there's not much to say. But for a problem, math, everyone thinks, oh, you're either right or wrong with math, right? Well, that's not true. A lot of times you will see something and you go, how did they get that? Sometimes it's just, oh, they flipped a sign. Sometimes it's the right answer, or it looks just like the answer, but they put the decimal place in the wrong spot. Sometimes, yeah. So that's a way of getting partial credit on the exams. So it's not just you're right or you're wrong, because There are degrees of right and wrong.
I have another quick question about the exams.
Yeah.
So I've taken a math class before that was through Ivy Tech that was statewide like this one.
Mhm.
So that being said, how much wiggle room is there on partial credit? Like, are you able to edit the answers that we give, I guess is what I'm asking. Like if we do something and misplace a decimal, or just for example.
Well, I won't edit your test, but I will give additional points to your test based on the partial credit. So let's say you get a 65% on your test, right? You know, 65, 75, 85. These are people that made mistakes, but understand. 65, maybe they didn't understand everything, but 75, 85, these people are making mistakes, but understanding concepts. So that's something that, those grades, if someone gets like a 20%, they're probably just lost. They're just lost, right? But, the C's, the B's, these are people that are making mistakes. What mistakes are they making? That's the kind of thing I'm looking for. Oh, well, this just graded it wrong. But that's because they, made a mistake here. So I can give you, some points for that problem, instead of it just being a 0 for that problem, right? Because that's all the computers aren't very smart. They're not gonna, if you input the wrong integer that it's looking for, then it says 0. It's wrong. I'm gonna grade this a 0. But if I look at it and I go, oh, no, they did the right steps. They set up the absolute value equation. They took both cases. They solved for X. And then for whatever reason, they only put it in one answer instead of both. Then I can go and give you some partial credit points for that. But I won't edit your actual test. I will just add points to the partial credit.
That makes sense. Thank you.
Mhm. Other questions? Since we're talking about the test and proctoring and everything, you will need some way to verify that you are you. So it can be a school ID, any kind of identification at all. Please have that. If I end up being the one to proctor you, you will have that. You'll have to have that if you go through Ivy Tech or proctor you. But if you go through me, you're also going to have that, because that's one of the main points to have the proctoring exam, is just to make sure that it is you doing this. Okay.
I have a question.
Mhm.
I'm Russian speaking student, and
Okay.
sometimes I use my translator in my telephone.
Yes.
So if during proctored exam, I will use it, is it okay or not?
I would say for you, we should probably set up something specific. So
I'm not always using it. For example, anatomy
understand.
and physiology, they not let me to, and I was successful without it.
I
But
would say it's acceptable that you use it. I just need to notify if either I will proctor it or the college will proctor it. I need to notify that you are requesting to have that. And that's okay. You know, if you read, you know, if you
If
need,
not, it's okay. I will study, probably I will not need it, but sometimes only one word make a challenge to understand
sure.
question for me.
Mhm.
So
I'm okay with you having it. I just will need to make the appropriate accommodations so that you do have it, or that it's acceptable that you have it.
okay, but if not, I will do not have it. So
Yeah, I don't have a problem. You know, um that shouldn't be a problem. Um if not, I'll just proctor your exam myself.
okay.
We'll do that.
Thank you so much. I can use translator on speaker, so you see I'm not use nothing but translator.
Okay.
So
It shouldn't be a problem.
yeah,
But thank you for letting me know. Yeah, that is helpful. Yeah.
okay. Thank you so much.
Any other questions? Okay, if there's no questions, I would go ahead and just get started with module 1. Let me know if you have any questions, watch the videos, read the textbook, look at the examples. First homework should be review. Don't forget, you can always look at other YouTube videos. The videos provided are the minimum. It doesn't mean that those are the only videos. Algebra is pretty well documented on YouTube at this point, so you can always seek help from other videos. Find a source that works with you. There's free textbooks out there aside from our own. So, don't hesitate to do your own research. But yeah, we're going to be doing some factoring, solving quadratic equations for the beginning first week. So we got to do that. Unless there's any other questions, I'll end the meeting. I'll wish you well. And maybe I'll see you on Sunday.
I'll be there.
Okay. Okay. Well, have a good rest of your day.